Assalamu alaikum, dear students of MA final year, Department of English, Anand College. I am here today for the students of Masters final year. Here I am a class for you. This is an online class. This is an alternative effort to provide some aid to you, just to help you to keep yourself in touch with your studies, because because of COVID-19 attack, we cannot go to the regular classes, we cannot go to the institution, and we are bound to stay at home due to such type of crisis. As we cannot run our regular courses, that's why this approach is just for the for our students of our department. And I hope you will get some of the informations to be involved with your text, with your assigned text, and to get some necessary preparation over this particular text. Today I am here with a particular text from your syllabus. In your master's course there is modern drama, and from modern drama I have selected one that is Desire Under the Elms by Eugenie O'Neill. And today I will discuss on O'Neill's drama Desire Under the Elms. Dear students, before starting the text, it is quite common that we have to discuss about the writer, that is the dramatist, to know some of the information, basic information of the dramatist. This is also very much important. And Eugenie O'Neill, he is an American dramatist, a modern American dramatist, and the modern characteristics of the modern dramas, the characteristics of modern dramas are obviously present in his drama. And some basic information about his life is, there is a peculiar thing about O'Neill that he was born in a hotel room, and unfortunately he also died in a hotel room. Despite having lots of residences, he remained homeless throughout his life. It was quite pathetic in case of O'Neill, and this influence was directly present in his dramas, because lots of his dramas, maximum of his dramas, had the sad ending, because of those sad ending, we can say that was the direct reflection of his lifetime experiences. And during his lifetime, once O'Neill's health was broken down, and he had tuberculosis, and for that reason he had to take rest in a sanatorium. During his stay at that sanatorium, he had to spend a long time in that sanatorium, and during his stay at that sanatorium, for the first time he felt the urge to write, and at that time he wanted to write about his experiences of life, that is, what did he feel about life, and what was his experience about life. That was the first ingredient of his writing, and from then onward he started his writing. He received his first Pulitzer Prize in 1920 for the play Beyond the Horizon. O'Neill spent a sad and very miserable life that also influenced his drama, that I have already mentioned, and as maximum of his tragedies had the unhappy or the sad ending, so he was usually asked why his dramas are so depressing. Then O'Neill replied in one of his interviews that, "Sure, I will write about happiness if I happen to meet up with that luxury." That was, happiness was a luxury for O'Neill in his lifetime, during his lifetime. So we can guess that his life was not a happy one. It was not a smooth one. It was very much tragic. Okay. Then come to the drama, that is our present topic is Desire Under the Elms. From the beginning up to the end of this drama, this is intensely tragic. The drama is intensely tragic, and basically two themes are interwoven in this tragedy, in this play. One is an obsessive love for property, and another is illicit passion. So these are the two basic themes, and these two themes are very much prominent, and these are the basic themes of this drama. You can say that the whole action of the drama centers around these two themes. The drama starts through an acute crisis, an acute conflict among three sons and the old father. And the issue of their conflict was the ownership of the property, that is the ownership of a farmhouse. And the farmhouse belongs to Mr. Cabot, Mr. Ephraim Cabot, the old guy, and that was the center of interest for all the rest of the characters. So everyone was desiring, everyone had a desire to have the ownership of this farmhouse. Then this very issue is also very much significant. That is, what is the significance of the title? We know in case of drama or in case of any literary writing, there is a very importance about the significance of title. So we can also discuss about the significance of the title of this present drama. You know, the name of the drama is Desire Under the Elms, and the story of this play develops in Cabot's farmhouse, and that farmhouse was under two elm trees. And the center characters in this drama, all the characters in this drama, they hanker after different types of desires. So here the desires of different characters, that is the vital characters in this drama, the desire of those vital characters under the elm trees in that farmhouse, it is the major issue of this drama, it is the central theme of this drama. That's why the title of this drama, Desire Under the Elms, we can say that it is most appropriate one. Then we can come to the points, we can discuss the desires of different characters in this drama. First of all, Mr. Cabot, old Cabot, Mr. Cabot, he is 75 years old and he desires for living 100 years, as well as to get the rest and peace, rest and peace that he gets only near his barns, not at his own house, at his own home. So it is also very much tragic. Later on we will discuss about it. Then the elder two sons of Mr. Cabot, Simon and Peter, they desire to attain gold, to collect gold, and to attain that goal they wanted to go to California. Then Cabot's youngest wife, that is the third wife, Abby, she had the desire, first of all she had the desire to have the ownership of that farmhouse, because before her marriage she was, you can say that she was homeless. And after coming to this farmhouse, when she saw that there is a possibility to become the owner of this farmhouse, she had a firm desire to become the owner of this farmhouse. Later on, she had another desire, that is the desire to have a sensual love affair with her stepson Eben. Then Cabot's youngest son Eben, and Eben, his desire was to become the sole owner of that farmhouse. And at last he also changes his desire. At the end of the drama, we also saw that we see that he had also the desire to get sensual love from his stepmother Abby. And these are the different types of desire of the vital characters in this drama. Now come to the characters, that is the major characters of this drama. First of all, Mr. Ephraim Cabot, he is the owner of this farmhouse. He is the father of three sons, Simon, Peter and Evan. And at the beginning of this drama, we come to know that he is 75 years old and he is very much hardworking. He is so stout. He is also very much cruel and very hard-hearted man. Even there is a line that his face is so hard and harsh that it just look like that it is a piece of stone. It is just cut out from the rock. So it symbolizes his harsh and hard attitude. And at the beginning of the drama, he was a widower. He was an old widower, but he was not present at the farmhouse. He went to visit somewhere, and just after a few lines of the starting of this drama, Mr. Ephraim Cabot, he reached the farmhouse with a new wife with him, and that new wife is Abby Putnam. And here Simon and Peter, these are the two elder sons of Mr. Ephraim Cabot, and these two sons are also just like their father. They are also very hardworking, they are laborious, and they were also to some extent they are also cruel, and they had the only intention to attain money and property, nothing else. So the youngest one among the sons of Mr. Cabot, the youngest one was Eben. He was the son by Cabot's second wife, and Simon and Peter, they were by Cabot's first wife. They were the sons from Cabot's first wife, and Eben was from Cabot's second wife, and she has also died. She had also died. And this Eben was quite different from his father as well as from the rest of two brothers, because he was soft-natured, he was extra sensitive, and because of this type of attitude, because of this type of characteristics, Mr. Cabot also did not like his son Eben. He wanted a tough guy, but Eben was not like him, or Eben was not just like a stout and tough guy. On the other hand, Eben also hated his father. There was another reason, later on I will discuss about that. And the final one is Abby, that is the youngest wife or the third wife of Mr. Cabot, and she is only 35 years old. Though Mr. Cabot was 75 years old, but his third wife, Abby, was only 35 years old. And she was young, very much attractive, sensual, and very much desperate in her approach, and at the same time she was very much firm in her personality. So for this type of attitude, for this type of characteristic, she will be very much successful to convince anyone, even to convince the most attractive guy in this drama, that is Eben. So let's come to the point about the story of this drama. This is the story, domestic story of a New England family. This drama, the story of this drama is from the New England family life. And here the crisis in the issue of the issue of the ownership, the crisis that at first we met at the beginning of this drama. This is for the ownership of the farmhouse among three sons and their old father, Mr. Abbott. And finally another claimant, that is Abby, also added there, who also claimed the ownership of this farmhouse. Simon and Peter, they at the beginning of this drama, when they could realize that after the third marriage of their father, they could realize that there is no possibility for them to get the ownership of this farmhouse, then they made a deal with their younger brother Eben. That is, they will sell the property, they will sell their share of this farmhouse to Eben in exchange of some money, and with that money they would manage to go to California so that they can collect gold from there. And these two elder brothers of the family, Simon and Peter, they left the farmhouse after getting that money from Eben. So now in this drama only three characters are there: Eben, Abby, and Mr. Cabot. So Eben felt a strong hatred for his father. There are two reasons. First of all, he thought that he was the sole owner of this farmhouse, because originally it was the thinking of Eben that originally this farmhouse belonged to his mother. Afterwards, his father obtained the ownership of this farmhouse from his mother. So logically, he became the sole owner of this farmhouse. And second reason is that he also thought that his father was responsible for the premature death of his mother, because his father was so hard-hearted, and at the same time he himself was very much hard-working, and he made his wives to do hard labor, to do excessive domestic labor. And Eben thought that his mother died because of the excessive pressure of domestic work that was from his father's part, and for that reason his mother died. And that's why Eben thought his father responsible for his mother's death, and Eben was so attached with his mother. He was emotionally so attached with his mother, he couldn't accept the death of his mother. That's why always he thought his father as his enemy, and he had no soft feeling. Excuse me. He didn't have any passion or any soft corner for his father. Only hatred was there for his father. Excuse me. And for that reason, Eben also always wanted to take revenge against his father, and he always thought that the soul of his mother couldn't take rest, couldn't sleep peacefully at her grave, because her soul is dissatisfied, her soul is unsatisfied, and it will still remain unsatisfied until he will take revenge against his father. So Eben was always with the intention that obviously he had to take revenge against his father. Then the third marriage of Mr. Cabot brought about a new enemy in this farmhouse from Eben's thinking. That is, Eben thought that it was the addition of a new enemy in his life, and that's why he considers Abby as a new rival for him. After the departure of Simon and Peter, this action centers around these three characters, and Abby, when she met Eben, at first sight she fell in love with Eben, because Eben was very good looking, he was young, he was handsome, and Abby was only 35, and she got married with an old guy, so she was not at all satisfied with her marriage. And now after coming to this farmhouse, at first she visited the farmhouse and she had the intention to attain the ownership of this farmhouse by hook or by crook, because before this marriage she was to some extent we can say that she was homeless, and she had nothing to say that this property is of her own. But now, after coming to this farmhouse, she felt the possibility of becoming the owner of this farmhouse. So she was very much glad, and she was so much excited to have the ownership of this farmhouse. So this was her first intention. She became very much possessive to have the ownership of this farmhouse. But after meeting Eben, there was a little change in her desire. She felt a sensual desire for her stepson Eben, and she also make such type of approach, that is, she tried to advance towards Eben. She tried to attract Eben towards her, and this type of attitude, at first Eben did not respond towards her attitude, and Eben tried to consider her only as her enemy. But Abby always tried to convince him. At any cost she tried to convince him, and this feeling of Abby, that is essential desire for her stepson, even became stronger than her first desire, that is to own this farmhouse. Abby fell in love with Eben at first sight, and she amorously advanced towards Eben. But Eben always, she also felt some sort of weakness towards Abby, because he was also young and Abby was attractive. That's why he also felt a secret desire for Abby, to get sensual love from Abby. But as he thought that Abby is the new rival for him, that's why he never tried to expose that intention before Abby. Abby wanted to know, at a certain point, Abby wanted to know from Mr. Cabot who will be the next heir of this farmhouse. Then Mr. Cabot, he frankly made it clear that obviously the next owner of this farmhouse will be my flesh and blood. That is my son, my only remaining son, that is Eben, will be the owner of this farmhouse. So this news shocked Abby, and she was disheartened. Then she made a plan. She convinced Mr. Cabot by saying that, you know, you are so much, she flattered Mr. Cabot by saying that you are so stout, you are so robust, and at the same time you are so vigorous, even in the age of 75. And it is there is lots of possibility even in such old age that you can become the father of a son by me. So she convinced Mr. Cabot that she will give birth to a son by Mr. Cabot. And after hearing that, Mr. Cabot became very much excited, and he also felt proud that even in the age of 75 there is possibility to become a father again. Then she promised to Abby that if she really can give birth a son by him, then obviously Abby, or the son, newly born son, will be the heir of this farmhouse. So this plan of Abby, behind this plan there was another intention of Abby. That is, Abby thought that by hook or by crook she would build up a relationship with Eben, a physical relationship with Eben, and ultimately she would have a son by Eben, and she will convince Mr. Cabot by saying that this son is of Mr. Cabot. Then eventually she will get the ownership of the farmhouse. So this was the plan of Abby. But at the same time, she tried her level best to convince Eben to make a relationship with him. At first, Eben did not respond towards her call, but finally, Abby tried to convince him by the emotional attachment, by saying about his mother, Eben's mother. He went to visit Eben's mother's parlor. She went there, and she also says that I think the soul of your mother is still present in this parlor. So this type of utterances about Eben's mother very easily convinced Eben's mind, and Eben could feel that maybe there is the acceptance from his mother's part. This type of relationship her mother will obviously accept or support. Maybe her mother supported this relationship. And another point is that Eben thought that as he is very much eager to take a revenge against his father, so this will be the greatest scope for him to make an illicit relationship with his father's third wife, that is Abby. That means Eben's stepmother. If he could really make an illicit relationship with his stepmother, then that will be the greatest revenge against his father. For that point also, Eben gradually became involved with his stepmother. That is, essentially they became involved. They made the physical love, and they also passed some happy time. And another point is there. Mr. Cabot, he did not feel comfortable. He did not feel easy or comfortable at his own house, at his own home. Even he felt uneasy at his own bedroom. That's why it was much more comfortable for him to take rest with his cattle outside home at the barn with his cattle. So usually he left his bedrooms and he went to go to take some rest with his cattle. And at that time, Eben and Abby, they met and they made their love relationship. They developed their love relationship. After 1 year, Abby gave birth to a son, and Mr. Cabot, he thought that this son was of his own. But Eben and Abby, they only know that this is their product. And Mr. Cabot, he became too much excited after the birth of that son, and he arranged a party, a dance party, to celebrate the birth of the son. All the neighbors were invited there in that party, and the neighbors, they gathered in the party, and the maximum of the neighbors, they were confirmed that obviously this son is not the son of Mr. Cabot, rather this is Eben's son. And obviously there is an illicit relationship between the stepmother and stepson. And another point was there, that is, this newly born baby had a his appearance had a close resemblance with Eben. That was the clue for understanding that this is Eben's son. Then when these neighbors, they were discussing among them, they were gossiping among them about this type of secret. Mr. Cabot, again he felt uneasy, and they went out. Leaving this party, he went out, and outside home there was a conversation between Mr. Cabot and Eben. So Eben was also very much rude towards his father, and to give some mental pressure to his father, Eben then said to his father that, do you know that this son is not of your own blood, rather this is my son, whom you consider your own son. So listening to this news, Mr. Cabot was shocked, and he very firmly said that you are lying towards me, because Abby promised to me that she will give birth to a son by me, and in return I will give the ownership of this farmhouse to her. So after receiving this news, Eben was surprised. He was shocked. He was greatly shocked, and he at that time thought that actually he was befooled, not his father. He was actually befooled, because Abby had pretended with him. Abby had pretended to make false love with him. Actually, Abby had never been in true love with him. That was only a trick of Abby to get a son by him, so that he can present this son before Mr. Cabot, and she can easily convince Mr. Cabot by saying that this is your son, so that he could easily attain the ownership of this farmhouse. So at this point, Eben became excessively furious, and he thought that Abby ultimately betrayed him, and directly he went to Abby and he accused Abby that you have pretended with me, you had never been in true love with me, and it was only a hypocrisy from your part just to attain the ownership of this farmhouse. But at that time, Abby was not at that state at all. Abby was really in love, in true love with Eben at that stage. And Abby tried her level best to convince Eben by saying that this was not true. Actually, she was in true love with Eben, and all these things are just a misunderstanding. But she could not convince Eben, and Eben, out of extreme excitement, he went to the police, and he not at that moment, Eben became very much excited, and Abby then tried to convince him, and Abby wanted to know whether he truly loved Abby before the birth of this child or not. So after that, Eben directly answered that before the birth of this baby, he was really in love with Abby. But after the birth of this baby, the situation has completely been changed, and now he desired that this baby should never take its birth, or just at this moment this baby should die. This is his desire. He says, Eben says, out of excitement, out of his grief, he says that this baby should die at this moment, because this is not the product of their love. This is not the outcome of their love. Rather, this is the outcome of the hypocrisy from Abby's part. So after hearing that, Abby said that obviously I will give you the proof of my true love. Then she went to, then she entered the house, and she killed the baby. Can you imagine how a mother can kill her own baby? So actually at that time she was completely overcharged with the passion of love. That is the love for his beloved, not a motherly love. No, she was not at that time, she was not moved by the love of a mother, emotional mother, attached love mother. Rather, she was only thinking about her carnal love for her beloved. So at that time, she put the pillow over the face of that baby, and she stopped the breathing of the innocent baby, and ultimately the baby dies. After that moment, Abby came to Eben, and confessed before him that I have abolished the confusion that arises in our relationship. That is, you doubted that whether the birth of this baby was a boon for you or a curse. Actually, I have finished that chapter. I have killed the baby just to make a proof before you, just to present a proof before you that actually I love you more than everything, even more than my child. Just to prove it, I have killed my own baby. So after listening to this shocking news, at first Eben thought that this was another trick of Abby, and at this moment Abby had killed the baby as it was the son of Eben, and to give him pain or to give him pressure, Abby had killed that baby. So out of extreme excitement, instantly, without thinking any further, instantly Eben went to the police and he informed the police that such type of crime has taken place in this farmhouse, and he returned back to the farmhouse. So after coming to the farmhouse, after meeting Abby again, he could realize the thing, and he could feel the situation that actually he had misunderstood. There was a mistake in his understanding. He had misunderstood Abby or Abby's intention. So finally he realized the situation that actually Abby truly loved him. That's why she even did not hesitate to kill her own baby only for the sake of proving her true love before me. And after realizing this fact, he offered Abby to run away from this farmhouse before coming of the police. But at that time, Abby she changed her mind, and she confessed that she said that obviously he will not run away anymore, and he will confess before the police. He will surrender to the police, and she will surrender to the police, and she will say everything in detail. And as she had committed the crime of killing her own infant, so she must receive the punishment. So eventually the police came and arrested Abby. At that time, Eben also felt the deep passion of Abby towards him, and finally he could also realize the true love of Abby, and he could feel the same type of intention, same type of feeling towards Abby, and he also confessed towards the police that he was equally responsible for the crime. So as Abby was arrested, he should also have should be arrested for the same crime. And he confessed to the police that he is equally responsible for the crime. So he requested the police to give him the same punishment as Abby will receive. So eventually the police caught both of them and brought them to the custody, and finally the future will be decided in the court. That is not mentioned in the drama, but we at the end of the drama we can finally realize that at first the desire of the characters, basically the character Eben and Abby, was to attain the ownership of the farmhouse. That means to have the property, to attain the property, material gain. But gradually that desire turns into the desire of sensual love. But at last or finally their desire was not for sensual love, that was the true or a real love. Both of them, they desired for the real love, true love for each other. They felt true love for each other, and that's why they accepted the punishment, equally they accepted the punishment for their crime. And through this sacrifice they have proved their real love or true love. And Mr. Ephraim Cabot, at first, after all these things that had happened at his farmhouse, at first, out of extreme depression, he thought to set fire on this farmhouse, which is the cause of all this type of anarchy, all this type of unlucky situation. He wanted to set fire on this farmhouse and then to go to join his two sons, Simon and Peter, at California. But when he saw that all of his collected money, his saved money, have already been stolen at that time, he changed his mind and he finally decided to stay here at this farmhouse all alone and to stay with his cattle. And that is the end of this drama. This is all about this drama. So dear students, I think the story of this drama will help you to prepare the necessary questions, related questions from this text, and I request you to go through the major incidents, major characters, and also the characteristics of a modern drama that are included in this drama. So you will obviously get the important questions from the set suggestion, and that will help you to make a suggestion by your own self, and finally you will get preparation over those. And this is all for today. Again, I hope that all of you will stay home and you will keep yourself safe. At the same time, you will also keep yourself in touch with your study with the regular activities. Thank you, dear student.